They kept coming, with the Rockies adding on late en route to a 7-3 victory. And every win in the division has a little extra meaning. Tonight, with fireworks on the horizon, they'll try to make it 2 straight over the Giants. Baseball from Coors Field is next. Another lovely night at Coors Field, and the house will be packed. The Rockies and Giants getting together. Game 2 of an 11-game homestand for the Rockies, and things went very well last night. A 7-3 victory for Aaron Cook. The Rockies now 5 games north of 500. The Giants are scuffling. They've lost 6 in a row with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman, and the Rockies, for the 4th time this year, 5 games over 500. They'd like to go 6 over. They haven't done that yet. You know what, George? You know this. You played this game for a long time. You have to be tough-minded to play Major League Baseball. In the case of Clint Barmes, I don't know if there's a more resilient guy in that clubhouse.
Well, the best part about Clint is he knows that if the bat isn't swinging well, that I can win a game with a glove. He's shown it at second. He's showing it an awful lot at shortstop. With the plays he's made, he's come up with huge base hits against the Boston Red Sox. Last 9 ball games. You want to know why he's hitting 251, folks? 429 with a couple of home runs and 9 RBIs. And Clint just keeps letting it go. The other day, the big home run in Anaheim, he's played great defense, and all of a sudden you start to see it. It's kind of funny. When a guy plays hard, you see a guy playing good, a guy you really like in the locker room, it kind of uplifts everybody else. Johnny Herrera's playing great baseball at shortstop, swinging the bat well. Dexter's doing a good job since he came back.
Yeah, one more footnote on Barmes. 39 RBIs, tied with Miguel Olivo, second on the club to Carlos Gonzalez. He was the guy that was much maligned just about 3-4 weeks ago for what he wasn't doing on offense. He's in a good place right now. Tim Lincecum, not so much. We'll talk more about him when we return. games north of 500 inside the division. That is very, very important. Back upstairs with George Frazier, I am Drew Goodman. Let's talk a little bit about Tim Lincecum, the two-time reigning Cy Young winner in the National League. I think it's a little unfair to say he's not pitching well. He had a bad outing against Boston. His 3 prior outings were pretty good.
They were very good prior to that. And think about it, he's 4-0 in April with a 123 earned run average. When you set the standard as high as his has been set, it makes it difficult to match it for the national media, local media, the fans at your ballpark. 8-3, 313. There's a lot of guys, folks, in baseball that would love to have that record right now. He's just going against a pretty good youngster again tonight. 3 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, and 79 pitches against the Boston Red Sox in their ballpark. It was a day game, nationally televised. He just didn't pitch well. And it's plain and simple. He's going to have a hiccup every now and then. He had a big hiccup. His 4 losses, though, against the Rockies is the most losses he has against any team. For whatever reason, the Rockies hit him well.
Yeah, he's a kind of pedestrian 5-4 all-time against Colorado. Let's check in downstairs now with Alana Rizzo. Hey, Alana.
Hey, Drew. Thanks very much. Welcome back, Goody. We are happy to have you back. Tonight, what I'm talking about, watch and learn. And what I mean by that is what the youngsters can learn from watching Miguel Oliva, what Clint Barmas, speaking of Miguel Oliva, what Clint Barmas said about that. And also back to basics, what Dexter Fowler told me he got back to when he went to AAA Colorado Springs. It's what got him to love the game to begin with, guys.
All right, Alana, thank you very much. We'll look forward to those stories and others. We are ready to go. The Rockies and Giants come on back to Coors Field with us. Drive it today by Ford Escape. So much fun, so little fuel. Ford Escape, drive one. And by Brakes Plus, a whole lot more. A little earlier start tonight with fireworks after the ball game tonight and tomorrow night. Yoli Chassin fashioning the 4th of July weekend hat that every team in baseball will wear. And there is Andres Torres. He's had the last couple of ball games off. He's been the catalyst for the Giants when they're performing well on offense, but he has been struggling, and much of their lineup has been struggling through this 6-game losing streak. He'll be followed in the lineup by Freddie Sanchez. Aubrey Huff is in the 3-hole, batting .289. Pat Burrell, who was released by Tampa earlier this year, has really performed well in a Giant uniform, and he's always performed well here at Coors Field. Pablo Sandoval will be next, and Juan Uribe. Buster Posey, the good-looking rookie, will be at first base tonight instead of behind the plate as he was last night. Eli Whiteside will have catching duties, and Tim Lincecum will pitch and bat ninth. All of that presented by Southwest.com as we take a look at George Frazier's scouting report on Yolis Chassin.
You see the record in the earned run average. Fastball 89.95. That record of 4-7, 351 earned run average. A changeup is an out pitch at 80-84 and a devastating slider 82-86. Well, if you're wondering where Chassin ranks in the National League rookie ranks among pitchers, his 3.51 ERA is third, his 71 strikeouts first, 225 average against first, and his 11 starts sixth. There have been a couple of guys like Mr. Leake in Cincinnati that started the season with their ball clubs.
All right, first pitch brought to you as always by Domino's Pizza. Text keyword pizza followed by a space and your name to 95323 to receive your Domino's special offer and to be entered to win a pizza party for 15. One weekly winner will be chosen. Beautiful, beautiful night at Coors Field. It was quite hot, in fact, during batting practice, and Chassin's first delivery is a little bit tall on Andres Torres, ball one.
Last start for Chassin. He's punched out 12 against the Angels, set a rookie record, and fastball command was there. Gets the fastball inside for base hit to right.
And Torres can really run. He's checking out Tim Flannery, the third base coach. He shuts him down at second. So a leadoff double for Torres. And we'll take a look at the Rockies defense presented by Mercedes-Benz. In the outfield, Carlos Gonzalez is in left, not right field. Seth Smith's over there, and you say, well, why would they do that? That's because left field, there's a lot more room in left center field. And so they'll have Fowler and Gonzalez running around there. Stuart Barmes, Herrera, Giambi at first. Miguel Olivo is behind the plate. And there's Seth, who is taking extra work before the ball game from Glenn Allen Hill on reading angles off the wall, because he's primarily, George, been a left fielder.
Absolutely has been, and again, I agree with you totally on the fact of ground coverage here.
Nearly a chance at a double play. And that old thing coaches tell you, freeze on a line drive. And fortunately for the Giants, Torres did. Otherwise, that's two.
Yeah, pretty good easy double play for Clint Barmes to complete, because the ball's hit back towards the middle, so his momentum's going to the bag. Just Torres, nice job of base running. The Giants, in their last 7 ball games, have hit a .195 with runners in scoring position, and over the course of the season, just .220.
So with one out, Torres at second base. This will bring up Aubrey Huff.
Been a nice little surprise for the Giants. The way he has swung the bat, 12 home runs, 42 RBIs.
And a year ago, George, you're right, he hit 15 home runs the whole season. Splitting time between Baltimore and Detroit. But like everybody, it seems like in this Giant lineup, he's in a miserable slump. He's 5 for his last 36, a 139 average. Rockies hoping to extend that tonight. This is in the air to deep right center field. He's got a chance to get out, and it will. So Chassin has been hit hard by the first 3 batters, and now he's got a 2-run deficit.
His only previous start against the Giants, he gave up 1 hit. None of those guys are in this lineup right now. First batter, I should say first home run given up by Chassin to a left-handed bat in 106 at-bats. That's impressive. It's not impressive. This ball ended up out into the bullpen. On the Hyundai cam, look at the fastball, trying to run it to the inside corner. See that ball with that a little bit of a late tail, got to the middle of the plate and was elevated. And Huff just drove it out into the bullpen.
Well, you don't want to start working uphill against Tim Lincecum, but that's what the Rockies will have tonight. The hard breaking ball's in there for a strike on Pat Burrell. Huff's 13th of the year. The Giants have lost 6 straight. They've scored a whopping 12 runs during the 6-game losing streak, so they're right at their average. Now the challenge for Chassin will be to keep him right there. And the fastball looks like maybe more of a changeup.
Pat Burrell's come over here to the Giants. He's put a little life into him. You know, you look at his numbers in the American League: 202, 2 home runs, 13 RBIs, and just a short stint here, 5 home runs and 11 RBIs. Obviously, a little more suited to the National League versus the DH role that he had in Tampa.
Some guys, George, just don't adapt to it, do they?
They really don't. I mean, think back to the guys that would work as a DH. Dante Bichette was one of the best hitters of Rockies history, yet when he DH'd, he was horrible. Just didn't he liked the flow of the game, the rhythm of the game by playing out in the field.
With Jason Giambi, did a lot of that in the American League, and in the month of June he got to do that. But now that you're done with interleague play, his starts will be at first base. Just missed.
Yep, inside corner's 91, but they had good sink trying to get Burrell to swing over the top of the baseball.
And a great changeup. That's a break your back changeup. Tweak the oblique changeup. 2 outs.
Oh, right out of the glove on the Hyundai Cam, the way he hit the ball so well as it came out of the glove, stayed on the body line, and it's all about arm speed and body speed to make it that much more deceptive, but really pull through it. Got tremendous movement right at the very end.
Yeah, you can have a dastardly curveball, a great slider. Hitters more often than not will tell you the toughest secondary pitch is Sandoval swings to a slider. The toughest secondary pitch to hit is that changeup, because you gear up to hit a fastball, and it looks like a fastball.
That's why so many teams try to teach the changeup in development at a young age, an A ball, rookie ball, to make them throw 10 to 15 a ball game to gain confidence in it.
Bit of a cutter there inside, 1-1 on Sandoval. And hard curveballs outside, 2-1. 4 games set between the Rockies and Giants. San Francisco at the start of an 11-game trip. And that's there, 2-2. Of course, the Rockies have an 11-game homestand. And they're 24-14 this year at home. Good spot.
The Giants, you know, again, there's a team. You talked about the Rockies' record in the National League West and being very good. The Giants, just the opposite of that.
And Chassin never giving up on the play. Gets the feed from Giambi. In the inning, Torres a double, Aubrey Huff a 2-run home run. Two runs as they come to bat in the bottom of the first inning. Dexter Fowler, who had a great game last night, 3 for 5, including a triple, will be in the leadoff spot against Tim Lincecum. Here's the rest of the Rockies lineup, as written out earlier today by Jim Tracy. Jonathan Herrera, he's been marvelous. He'll be in the 2-hole. Carlos Gonzalez, a home run in 3 of his last 4. Giambio got cleanup. Smith, Olivo, he's red hot. Ian Stewart, Clint Barnes with that 9-game hitting streak. and then Yolis Chassin. So Fowler with the hands down low, something he changed with Rene Latchman down in Colorado Springs.
Well, I think smart move, too, because with the hands so high, if guys are going to pound you inside with the fastball and the hard slider, you're going to have a difficult time getting to it, unless you're extremely quick. I don't think Dexter is from the left side, so just lower the hands and get the bat to the zone quicker.
The fastball at 92 is in the zone, 1-1. Lincecum with his Tom Petty look, George.
I thought about you letting you grow your hair that long, but I wasn't sure that it would pan out. So
I don't know if that's possible any longer.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you could do that with a hat on. No, I just, you don't see many guys in the big leagues anymore with hair like that. Kind of
that misses. It's 3-1. I think it would be really hot, particularly it's 87 degrees tonight, which means down on that field, what, 10 degrees warmer?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Plus the exercise you're putting your body through.
Tulo's got the mullet going. Fowler taking another strike, so it's 3-2. And the third baseman Sandoval will back up a little bit, 3 or 4 steps behind the bag. He was guarding against the bunt. And ball 4. Nice at bat for Dexter. And he's aboard on a leadoff walk as we check the scouting report on the 08 and 09 Cy Young Award winner.
Pretty special. You don't get to say that very often. 8.3, 313 earned run average. Fastball around 89, 95 when he needs to get a little extra. He's gone to his changeup as a secondary pitch as much as he has his curveball and slider of late. Think about this. 4-0, 127 in the month of April. May struggles. 1-2, 495 earned run average. Yet 3-1 with a 3.09 earned run average in June. Standards are set pretty high for this youngster.
Yeah, I mean, people alarmed he had a bad outing. He had 3 very good outings prior to the one against the Red Sox. Now, he does not hold runners on very well. 17 of his last 19 would-be base stealers have succeeded. Dexter got 2 bags last night. And you have a very patient hitter at the plate in Jonathan Herrera.
Well, Whiteside throws a little bit better, and he's quick to release on it. I think that's why he's behind the plate to catch Lincecum.
That's a strike, 1-1. Can't say enough good things about Jonathan Herrera, nor can his skipper, Jim Tracy. Herrera is making his 14th start at second base. He's hit safely in 12 of his first 13. Is that any good?
Pretty good. Playing a very fine second base to go along with that.
Ground ball toward the hole, out through. Make it 13 of 14. Dexter stops at second. 2 aboard, nobody out for Carlos Gonzalez.
Well, textbook hitting by Johnny Herrera. You can see on a 4th strike zone, this ball's going to tail away from him versus trying to pull it. He slaps it by Sandoval, who's playing about 5 steps in on the bag. On third base, allowed the ball to get by him and expand a little bit of the offensive side of things. Last night, Gonzalez got a first pitch fastball and he sent it into the fountains. Next time up, fastball, he took it. Last time up, they went to soft stuff against him versus giving him a good fastball to look at.
He is one of the most aggressive hitters in the National League. And he takes there. Here's the bomb last night.
Bumgarner pitched a good baseball game. He just made a mistake here. He got a ball out over the plate and allowed Gonzalez to attack it, and he did just that.
He got a pitch that had a little extra mustard on it. 95. See that number there? The reason I mention it, that's as hard as he's thrown all year.
Well, he's starting to get in a little bit of a jam, and by getting into that jam, he's going to go back and get a little bit more baseball, and that's exactly what he did.
This is where he's tough because he has some wipeout pitches, the changeup and the curveball. Gonzalez with the fast hands fouls off the fastball that was up in the zone intentionally.
Just trying to get him to work under a baseball and hopefully get a fly ball. I mean, sure, you'd love to have a double play ground ball if you're Lincecum. If you can work up into it, trying to figure out. There's a lot of guys like Dave Righetti, pitching coaches, trying to figure out how do you get this guy out.
Good eye. is a rare slider from Lincecum. He doesn't throw it that much.
Not very often, but he typically gets really good extension on it. Good pitch on a 1-2 count, trying to run that thing in on him, or excuse me, 0-2 count. Good job of discipline by Gonzalez to lay off the pitch.
And he got it. So Lincecum with his first punch out. And Jason Giambi will come up as we take a look at the Mercedes-Benz defensive alignment for San Francisco. Pat Burrell is below average in left field. Andres Torres can really run in center. Aubrey Huff is average in right. Sandoval and Uribe on the left side. Sanchez and Posey on the right side. Freddie hasn't made an error in a while. And behind the plate, Eli Whiteside. Here's Giambi, and he hits a towering pop to shallow left. So now it'll take a 2-out hit. And Seth Smith coming up, and Smith has had success against Lincecum. Who wants tacos? Fans, remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any game, or as they did last night, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. So Smith, 5 for 17 with a couple of home runs against Lincecum, steps up. Making his first start of the year in right field. In fact, it's his first start in right field since 2008, and only his 16th ever start in right field. Fowler walked. He's at second. Jonathan Herrera singled to left. He's at first. 2-0 San Francisco. On the inside corner, and Lincecum consistently throwing pretty hard here with traffic. Fastball's been right at 95. The good one's always tougher when there are guys on base.
Well, he goes into the mold of Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling, Josh Johnson, Roy Halladay. They need to go get a mold.
Down the line, it hits the bag and redirects to Sanchez. And now hung up at second base is Herrera. Fowler's going to break for the plate. See how this thing works itself out. On the tag, Fowler is out. So Jonathan Herrera overruns second base, and it costs the Rockies an opportunity to have Miguel Olivo hit with the bases loaded. adjustment. Leading off will be a Juan Uribe, the former Rocky. They clean up quite a bit this year, with Burrell now involved in swinging the bat well. Juan hitting in the 6-hole tonight. And the breaking ball's in there for a strike on Uribe. Juan was 0 for 4 last night. In fact, he's hitless in his last 9 ABs, just 1 for his last 15. Chacín gave up a 2-run home run to Aubrey Huff in the first inning. Padres lost last night to Houston in 10 innings, so the Rockies picked up a game. In the air to Smith and right. Rockies 4 back in 3rd place. The Giants 5.5 back in 4th place. Take a look at our Xcel Energy fun fact. After defeating Madison Bumgarner yesterday, the Rockies' record when facing an opponent starter for the first time is 29-8. And that's over the last 13 months, which leads all big league teams. That's an interesting fact.
Yeah, because most of the time for a pitcher, the first time he sees a lineup, he typically has the advantage because you don't know what he's going to throw when he's going to throw.
Yeah, that interesting and fun fact. Brought to you by Xcel Energy. Did you know that you could sign up for an in-home energy audit and learn simple ways to save around the house from Xcel Energy? The way to do it, visit responsiblebynature.com. Buster Posey with a 1-1 count. Georgia, is the league starting to make adjustments on Posey, because when he came up from Fresno, he hit everybody and everything. Well, 429 over,
I think maybe
his first 13 games.
He starts to hear a little bit about home run swings. He starts to hear a little bit about driving the ball in the gap. But last night, he inside out of the ball. It was down and sinking off of Aaron Cook, and it went into the right field bleachers above the auxiliary scoreboard, about 4 or 5 rows up. He's starting to show a little bit more pop out of the bat. He's got 2 home runs now, and it's starting to take a little better swings at it.
He lost the bat there, 2-2. The reason I said that is, despite the home run last night, hitting just 173 over his last 15 games, again after 429 through his first 13. This is a game of adjustments. Scouting reports constantly changing and being updated. Chacín's coming off a misleading outing in Anaheim. He took the loss. There were several errors behind him. He struck out a career high 12 in 6 innings. Two on Posey, and a line drive, base hit the other way. That'll bring up the catcher Eli Whiteside.
I mentioned earlier in Chacín's other start against the Giants, he only gave up 1 hit over an 8-inning period. Very strong outing against the Giants, yet and nobody in the lineup tonight for the Giants has seen Yolis. So things should have been a little bit more into his favor than what they've actually turned out to be. Giants with 3 hits, 2 runs so far in the game.
Whiteside way out in front. Now, Eli Whiteside's going to get some time. Buster Posey's going to get a lot of time behind the plate. Benji Molina yesterday traded to the Rangers for Chris Ray, a minor league pitcher, and the Rangers also get cash to help offset the salary of Benji Molina.
The minor league pitcher Michael Maine, a #1 draft pick in 2007, along with a guy named Blake Bevan. Those guys, they had 4 first-round picks that year in 07.
Yeah, talking to some people in the Giants organization today, they need to get more athletic. And Benji, who's been a good hitter for them through the last couple of years, struggling a bit this year. He's 36. He does not move well. Everybody knows that. And they have a lot of age in a lot of different places, George. And you get into the summer months, they play in a big ballpark. They come here, it's a big ballpark. They really feel they need more athletic players on the diamond.
And Benji's legs are starting to give out on him. He caught an awful lot of baseball for the Giants and starting to try to backhand things versus get out and block them. They drafted Posey to beat their guy, so it's time to give him that opportunity.
The question is it fair or does it work for a team in contention with a marvelous pitching staff to have a kid catch him?
Well, the only reason I think it will work is because his manager's a former catcher, and he'll help guide him through it.
Here's the 1-2 and strike three. Whiteside, the second victim for Chacin. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Lincecum. Let's go outside the box with Jack in the box. Chacin's 12 punch outs in his most recent start. Second most strikeouts by a rookie in Rockies history. Sean Chacon back in 2001 struck out 13 Houston Astros. Outside the box brought to you by Jack in the box. Lincecum's a good athlete, takes a good swing. He had a 3-hit game earlier this year, back in mid-April. However, since that 3-hit game against the Dodgers on April 17th, he's 0 for 27.
Started to think he could hit. Says not to think about it, just swung the bat.
Now those pitchers meetings, George, when they come to the opposition pitcher, is it, hey, the guy can hit a little bit, or when I suppose they can really hit like Don Robinson back in the day, they spend a little time on how to work him?
Well, that, but the first thing they'll cover is he a good bunter? Can he bunt the ball to situations? And then the second thing is, can he slug bunt? In other words, get movement going, fake the bunt, get the ball on the ground. Is he that good of a hitter? Then you eventually get to that part. How good a hitter is he? Pure hitter is he?
Swung on and missed, and he's now 0 for his last 28 at the plate. Posey left at first. 2-0 San Francisco. Middle of 2. Miguel Olivo to lead it off. Hope everybody's enjoying the start of the 4th of July weekend. 2-0 San Francisco. Miguel Olivo will lead things off. Miguel's got an 8-game hitting streak. And that fastball in on the hands. He fouled it straight back. Olivo, look at the balance. Hitting .306 against righties. Hitting .327 against lefties. He had a triple last night, his 5th of the year. So it's not just like a catcher's thing anymore, George. He's 4th in the National League in triples.
You know, that's what you looked at him. And when I watched him before and with other ball clubs, you never anticipate his speed. You never saw it. And obviously, he's got it. I mean, stolen bases. He's gotten 4 on the year so far. He's been caught 4 times. But his aggressiveness from first to third, the runs it produces for you.
He could do this, too. Hit the baseball. This to the corner. And it will be a leadoff double for Miguel Olivo. The beat goes on for Miguel. If he's not an all-star this year, something is real fishy. Check in with Alana Rizzo for tonight's Great Colorado Payback Sideline Report. Alana.
All right, Drew, thanks very much. A double there for Miguel Olivo. It will be a crime if he doesn't make it to the All-Star game. I was talking to Clint Barmas about his hustle, specifically in yesterday's ball game. He said he shows kids the way to play the game. His approach and the way that he plays it is the way that it should be. They call him a gamer in the clubhouse. He said, I've been playing against him since we were in the minor leagues, and he has always exhibited that hustle. So I wasn't surprised when he became a teammate to still see that hustle on the field. He said kids can really learn, the younger players can really learn a lot from him just by observing him. He said if he was talking about the All-Star game too, he said it would be an absolute travesty if Miguel Olivo wasn't in Anaheim in a couple of weeks, guys.
Well, he's leading all major league catchers in hitting, in slugging percentage. He's thrown out half of the would-be base stealers. What else do you want? His OPS, George, slugging plus on-base percentage, because he's improved his eye at the plate, is over 900. Yadier Molina gets all the votes. He's hitting in the 230s.
Well, and that's what I was just going over in my mind. Who's going to be the popular choice? Who's going to be, is Pudge Rodriguez going to sway a little bit what he has done in Washington with the Nationals because of his popularity and time that he has at the big league level? Who's going to take away votes from Miguel, because he did, obviously to me, he deserves to be there.
Brian McCann has been an all-star in each of the last 4 years, and Brian McCann's a terrific player. Olivo's numbers are better. Here's Miguel Olivo playing hard. Last night, Buster Posey behind the plate. He just tried to run through him, and he did. Skinned up the knee, just lost the Band-Aid a moment ago. Here's the 3-1. And it's fouled off by Ian Stewart, 3-2. He asked Ian before the ball game how he was seeing the ball at the plate. He said, you know what, really good. He feels comfortable at the plate, and that is hopefully a sign of good things to come. Strike three on the inside corner, tailed back. And Stewart is gone. That's the second strikeout for Lincecum.
Well, when you see this pitch come in, when you stand close to the plate, what it does is it gets you to jackknife backwards and lock up. But it's because of the run of the baseball. It's coming in, and then it's running here. So as a hitter, you anticipate out front, and you give up on the pitch because you think it has an opportunity to hit you. And it runs back 2 or 3 inches and gets called a strike.
Well, here's Mr. Clutch, Clint Barmas, 9-game hitting streak, high and deep left field. Did he get it? Say goodbye. 2-run home run, Barmas. Are you kidding me? I'm going to give Summer Barmas some love here. She's in the booth getting ready to tell you about what the Wives are up to. And she just pumped her fist in the air.
Well, absolutely, as she should. Clint has been so hot of late. Showed you 429 in the last 9 games. That's going to climb up with the home runs, the RBIs that he has been able to do. First pitch to Shashin is a strike with a fastball. This game got tied up with one swing of the bat by Barmas, a hanging breaking ball at 81 miles an hour from Lincecum.
41 RBIs you mentioned. How about meaningful RBIs?
Well, they might struggle at the plate. 250, 255. Watch your lips. 250, 255 average. But what he does with men on base over 300.
I use that adjective again. It's Chassin. Tomahawks one to short with a lot of English on it. He's gone. The word we talked about, George, at the start of the broadcast, resiliency. He is resilient.
Just likes putting on a uniform playing baseball. That's the best part about Clint Barmas. Smile on his face every day when he's 0 for 25 or 20 for 25 and driving in a lot of runs. He loves playing the game of baseball. Made some fan happy in left field on a sellout night at Coors Field. It's not the only fireworks after the game. We're going to see some during the game.
2-2 as Dexter comes up, and Fowler drives one back up the middle on a high heater. So Dexter's been aboard twice. The Rockies already have 5 knocks against Lincecum here in the 2nd inning. They're not treating him like a 2-time Cy Young winner. And this is an ideal situation, 2 outs, George, to run. Because the worst thing that happens is Jonathan Herrera leads off next to him.
Well, that's the worst thing that happens. The other side of it, too, is Jonathan swung a pretty hot bat. I mean, it's kind of a nice situation.
Well, that's up the right field line. Fowler to second, and Freddie Sanchez drops it for a moment. That's what speed does to you, George, because Sanchez flying after the baseball, as he would with anybody, but he picked that thing up so quickly because he was afraid that Fowler was going to go first to third.
Absolutely, because of the distance, too, that it's beyond Posey. Posey tried to reach over and knock it down, but Dexter, you can see the long strides, and he able to pick up Richie Darrow, and this ball hits off the wall and just ricochets down the line. 2nd error of the season on Lincecum. Both have been throwing errors at first base.
See if Herrera can deliver him. In there for a strike. Jonathan had a base hit to left his first time up. And a 2-strike count. One of the other impressive things about Herrera is he has hit pretty decently with 2 strikes. Some have a big hit in Anaheim on a 3-2 pitch to drive in a run. And this ball is lifted to right center field. Aubrey Huff will make the catch. Well, the Rockies have tied it up. Clint Barmas, a 10-game hitting streak now. His 7th home run of the year with Miguel Olivo aboard. 2-2 as we go to the 3rd. Two-run home run moments ago to tie this thing up as we go to the top of the 3rd, top of the order for the Giants. It's Andres Torres who doubled in the 1st inning. He came home on a home run by Aubrey Huff. Welcome back, Drew Goodman, George Frazier. She is not George Frazier, not anywhere close. This is Summer Barmas. What a timely entrance to the booth, Summers. This is a shallow pop to Carlos Gonzalez. You walk in and your husband hits another home run.
It's been an exciting month for sure. We've been really excited just this year, just with all the opportunity that he's had. And you know, it's sad right now that Troy's out. he misses Troy, obviously, but he's really enjoyed playing short, and I think he knows that he can actually still play.
You know what? He can flat out play short. He can flat out play second. And one of the things we were talking about, honestly, is he is a really resilient guy. I mean, as tough as this game is, when you're not hitting, you may take it home and you may be down in the dumps, but he always shows up in a great mood, and he's never down long, is he?
No, he's never down. He's always upbeat, and I think he brings a lot to a lot of the players as well as they do to him, but he's just always an upbeat person, and he loves coming, obviously, every day to the ballpark.
Well,
and he loves bringing Wyatt now, too.
Yeah, and Wyatt can swing the bat because we've seen that downstairs. So you know what? You're going to bring a lot of good cheer to people on Tuesday and Wednesday. You along with the other Rockies wives. It's the annual grab bag. Tell us about it in the Cardinal series.
Yeah, this year we have the charity grab bag event, the Rockies wives charity grab bag event. And it's going to be the 6th and 7th, July 6th and 7th, during the Cardinal series. And it starts at 5:30, and it will go until we're sold out.
And I know each year it seems like you've increased the grab bags. What are some of the items in there?
Well, this year we have, if you buy 4 grab bags, you will, if you buy 4 grab bags, then you get to go into like a pool, or not a pool, but
kind of a bonus opportunity.
A bonus, yeah.
Okay.
And which will allow you to get like Dante Bichette, previous ball players.
Oh, okay.
From the Rockies, and then after that, then you also have an opportunity to pay another $40, and then you can get the opportunity to get another bag from the visitor side.
Right, like I know you have Roy Halladay, David Ortiz, Ryan Braun, some really big names.
Ryan Howard,
yeah, that's great. That's the 5th and 6th, the Cardinal series.
What gate is it? We'll talk about it in a minute.
yeah.
Carlos Gonzalez swings at the first pitch and tops it in the direction of Glenn Allen Hill. Drew Goodman, George Frazier upstairs. And we continue with Summer Barmers. There are other things that we need to know about the charity grab bag. For instance, who is benefiting this year?
Well, this year, the money that's going to be raised is going to the Colorado Rockies Foundation, which will be part of the Kelly McGregor Fund. So they quite haven't decided. The family hasn't quite decided which charity that it's going to be going to.
Okay.
But this year we're going to be doing the grab bag event actually right behind home plate this year.
Okay.
So near section 130.
And all the wives will be in that area then?
Yeah.
As opposed, okay, so make sure
we'll
if you come to the ballpark, make sure you hit the 20th and Blake area against section 130. Giambi steps in.
Well, last year this raised $27,000. Obviously a very big hit.
It was a huge hit. And, you know, we change it up a little bit every year. So it's pretty exciting to have also the visitor side as well be adding to this. So the bags, basically, in each bag, there's going to be one ball, and they're going to be $40, and there's only one ball in each bag. And, you know, it's great to come out and get your favorite player. And
right. So George had his mitts on this Ryan Howard baseball. We had to move it away from him, actually.
Boy, he does it all the time. So he does everything. They bring gifts to us, and Doug and I and Sam never get anything.
Strike one on Seth Smith.
It's nice Dante Bichette was in town, signed some baseballs for you. That's pretty cool. Ex-Rocky, Larry Walker's one has signed some balls for Benny Castillo, who's here every day.
Well, that's a quick inning. Rockies go in order. A 7-pitch inning for Tim Lincecum. We'll let you go back, Summer, and enjoy the rest of the baseball game. But every time your husband comes up, walk in the booth, because good things happen.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Cardinals will be in the 6th, 7th, and 8th. That means Pujols and Holiday and that outstanding pitching staff. And then the Padres will come in right before the All-Star break. So the Rockies, a tough homestand. And they're in the midst of playing 10 of 13 inside their division. And so far, so good, George. They've won 3 of 4.
They have played well. I think that's been exciting for this. You know, I mentioned earlier about the Giants and their struggles within the division. 8-18. That's the worst record in the division against the National League West. The Rockies, Drew has mentioned, 4 games over 500 within the division.
Well, the record that jumps out at you, Frage, the Dodgers again. 21-5. Are you kidding me?
Well, remember, though, they played a 16-game homestand at home. And to get 16 games in Dodger Stadium, and at that time, everybody was healthy, Billingsley and everybody in the rotation. So that's where you really make up that time for the Dodgers because of that 16-game homestand.
Here's the 2-1 on Pat Burrell. That's low. 3-1. Burrell struck out on a changeup his first time. 4 punch-outs. 4 shots seen. So the Rockies are 17-14 inside the division. A year ago, after the horrendous start, Frage, they went 33-39 and still almost won the division.
Well, and again, it was the ability to start pitching well, and the hitting all came with it. The defense came with it, all at the same time. And when you start to have that type of success, you know, they probably would have won the division without the little hiccup at the end of the year at Dodger Stadium.
Got him with another changeup. Came back from a 3-1 count. That's pretty good pitching right there.
Well, you like it because he came curveball, then changeup right behind it at 83. So obviously, I think right now, Yolis feels more comfortable with his secondary stuff, the slider and the changeup, than he does with command of the fastball.
1 out. Pablo Sandoval rolled the ground ball to Jason Giambi will come up. Our AT&T trivia question: the Giants franchise moved to the Bay Area in '58 after 75 years in the Big Apple. What were they originally called back in the late 1800s? Sandoval pops it foul. The Giants were just swept by the Dodgers, outscored 16-6 in that series. First time in 3 years that the Giants were swept by their bitter rivals.
Don't forget about Coors Field Suites, party facilities and picnic areas. They fit any event and any budget. So pick up the phone 303-312-2444.
Oh, and 2 count on Sandoval. Tried to drop the hook on the back door. 1-2. If you're just joining us, the Giants got 2 in the first. Double by Andres Torres. Freddie Sanchez lined out, and then Aubrey Huff hit one into the Rockies bullpen. 2-0. And this is popped up. Great pitch. Herrera going out. Smith coming on. And Seth has it. The Rockies countered with a 2-run home run from Clint Barmes in the 2nd inning. Let's take a look at our Geico quote of the day. This is appropriate. General Douglas MacArthur. It is wonderful to be here, to be able to hear the baseball against the bat, ball against glove, the call of the vendor, and be able to boo the umpire. Here's a rebate. Way out in front of the breaking ball.
I discussed a lot of times about a rebate stance at the plate. How he fades out and steps really out of the bucket. So if you can control the outer half of the plate, you got a pretty good chance against him.
It was very close, just missed. Sinking fastball, 1-1. Where's that? Must have been inside.
Yeah, it was inside at 91 miles an hour.
He went 2-2.
You know, whenever you have shown a changeup as well as he has early in this ball game, guys are starting to look for it in these strikeout situations, and they get 2 strikes on him. Yolis has worked the fastball. Appears to be a breaking ball. It is. It overthrew it a little bit, bounced it in the dirt.
Three and 2. Another changeup coming. Uribe has not hurt the Rockies much this year. Ground ball to Johnny Herrera. Good hands. That's 8 in a row retired by Yolis Chacin. Safely through the top of the 4th. Olivo, Stewart, and the red-hot Barmes. 2-2 ball game, bottom of the fourth. And for the Rockies, it'll be Miguel Olivo, who doubled to lead things off in the second. And 2 hitters later, he was jogging home on a Clint Barmes home run. He's got himself another hit. He entered the ball game 25 official at bats, shy of being included in the official standings for National League leaders in hitting. Sometimes it's hard for catchers to, forgive me for saying this, catch up. We take a look at our Fast Cash Sideline Report, brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo.
All right, Drew, thanks very much. Quickly on Dexter Fowler. He said that his experience in AAA was humbling. I asked him more about that. He said it really just puts your ego in check, especially when you've spent some time, significant time, at the big league level. I said, what's the biggest thing you learned while you were down there? He said, I got back to the basics. And what I mean by that is I started to have fun again. He said, there was a period of time when I was up here when I wasn't getting a lot of playing time and I wasn't performing well, that I wasn't having fun. He said, I talked to both of my parents to help me get through it. He said, yesterday before the ball game, his mom said, just play like you were in Little League. Remember how much fun that was when you played for the Yankees, your Little League team. You were 118-8. He listened to his mama, had a great night last night, 3 for 5, 2 stolen bases, and 2 runs, guys.
It's hard. It's a hard enough game to play, George. You got to try to have fun. That'll loosen you up.
Well, you'll hear a lot of players as they get further along in their career. But if you're not having fun, I'm not going to play you. And they're dead serious about it. To come to the ballpark, you got to enjoy it, particularly when you have to do it 162 nights.
And Dexter enjoying, obviously, being back in the big leagues. He tore up the Pacific Coast League, hit 340 down there. Miguel Olivo is moving there. It was a hit and run, so it's now a 1-2 count on Stewart, who was caught looking on a fastball in the inside corner, kind of a hip side sinker. In the dirt, and Olivo will hustle back to the bag. It's a great example, George, there of a base runner reading the arm angle, the flight of the baseball out of the hand.
Very good job of being able to do it, and that's what you practice and you watch. I mean, if you see velocity in a ball down, there's a chance it's going to skip, it's going to bounce off and do what it can. Same thing with a hard breaking ball. Then when you see it, Whiteside did a really nice job covering that ball up behind the plate, keeping it out in front of him.
2-2, hard smash to third. Sandoval comes up with it, and Olivo got in to Freddie Sanchez, and then the first baseman Posey, not all that experienced there, pulled his foot off the bag at first, so Stewart is safe.
Well, it's a good thing Stewart ran too, and he did that. The ball was hit hard. He thought this thing was going to shoot out into left field. Pablo Sandoval, a nice play and a feed, but here comes Olivo with his good speed. Now, didn't really take him out to the point of where you're going to plant him into the outfield. Watch Posey's foot as the ball gets into the glove. You can see a toe just come off the bag.
So here's Barmes. He had the 2-run home run and the 10-game hitting streak, and he takes a fastball up high. That's a strike. Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Clint Barmes has been a nightly contender for this award. 7th home run of the year, tied the game at 2. Back in the second inning, our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. 1-1 count. And that's inside. 2-1 on Barmes. Hitting in the 8-hole, yet with his 41 RBIs, second by just 7 ribbies to Carlos Gonzalez for the team lead. He's on pace to drive in over 80 runs. He had 76 last year. This is popped up, foul ground, and Posey will make the catch. 2 outs, now to bring up Chacin. Yolis grounded to short his first time up. Rockies 42-37 tonight. Game number 80 tomorrow, the halfway point. Weren't we just in Tucson, George?
Yeah, you know, you just start to think about that, how fast it really goes by. April, May, June, you're already done with it. Here you are in July. So, Freddie going to have to make a good play to keep Trachine from getting his second hit.
And that was a good play. You can star that one. Fancy play by Sanchez. 2-2. Experience by Dex One Marketing Solutions Business Results, and by Colorado Hyundai. Hyundai was just named the most efficient car maker in America. Visit your Colorado Hyundai dealers today. Let's take a look at our Brakes Plus Take a Break poll of the day. Text your answers to 95323. What experience would you rather have at a baseball game? Text Rocks 1 for catch a foul ball or a home run. Text Rocks 2 for get an autograph. Show this text at Brakes Plus for $25 off any brake service or $10 off an oil change and filter in the month of July from Brakes Plus. Buster Posey fouls off the first delivery. Posey a single to right. Back in the second inning. 8 in a row set down by Yoli Chassin. Good pitchers duel. Tim Lincecum and Chassin. Top of the 5th inning, tied at 2. See, he has a souvenir, so he would vote Rocks 1. Slider for a strike. Posey, maybe the most celebrated baseball player ever to come out of tradition-rich Florida State. They wrote a song about him. Mobbed on campus. The All-American kid. Here's the 1-2, and that's a 59-foot curveball. 2-2. See if he goes back to the changeup. He has gone curveball changeup in a couple of sequences with success in this game. More of the information on the 23-year-old Posey. Southern Georgia. He went to the changeup and missed. It's 3-2. Posey hitting out of the 7-hole. Chassin has a 4-7 record, but a 3.51 ERA, and he has struck out coming in 71 and 66 2/3. And one of the things I like to look at, George, is the league average against. 225. That's an elite opponent
absolutely.
Average.
No question. And he's leading all rookies right now at the 225. And here's the other side of that. If you're not walking people too, you're not going to lose a lot of ball games. And this home run he gave up to Huff against the left hand, the first all year in 107 at bats before he gave up a home run to the left hand.
And a base hit for Posey. His second knock of the ball game, just the 4th allowed by Chassin. That'll bring up Eli Whiteside.
On July 7th, the first 15,000 through the gates. They've got to be adults, 21 and over, to get a drink tumbler courtesy of Coors Light. St. Louis Cardinals are in town.
Cardinals are in Milwaukee right now, leading the Brewers 2-0 in the third. Whiteside struck out his first time up. Chacín has 5 of those, bringing his season total to 76. Cards still chasing the Reds in the National League Central. That's a strike. Can you overstate, George, the importance of this week-and-a-half stretch heading to the All-Star break for the Rockies? 4 out beginning play tonight. All these ball games at home against very good opponents.
Well, I think that the nice part about it, Drew, is you're at home. You made a great statement. We're at home. And where the Rockies have played predominantly pretty good baseball at home, it gives you a chance to put some separation with the Giants and climb that ladder a little bit. Is it going to be easy? No, because you're playing the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Padres. But I think what it does do for you, it gives you the intensity of what you're going to face those last 2.5 months of the season on a day in and day out basis because of the competition you're going against.
And is this hit hard enough for 2? Chacín, athletic play. You talk about fielding your position. What a job by Yoli Chacín. It looked like Tulowitzki throwing there.
Well, I tell you what was really nice is how quick he got off the mound in a very off-balance throw that he threw out to second base, and yet a strike to Clint Barmas. You talk about athletes in the organization. This is one of them, folks. Off-balance throw. Clint able to get it. And his exchange at second, I mean, it's just as quick draw as you can look at around baseball. He gets rid of the baseball, and he puts a lot on it. That shortstop arm really does an awful lot for Clint Barmas to complete double plays as this one.
And Lincecum swings. It's 0-1. Boy, that was a gorgeous play by Chacín. And as you said, George, a great transition. Hand to glove. The glove to hand by Clint Barmas.
Well, the Hyundai Cam makes it fun because you can really look at how close a lot of these plays are. That's the 93rd double play turn, which leads the major leagues.
That'll kill a lot of rallies. Rockies always among the league leaders last few years. Line drive right to Ian Stewart. It turns into a 1-2-3 fifth inning for Yoli Chacín. He's in a good place. See if the Rockies can get after that man again. Sellout crowd at 20th and Blake. Everybody's in a good mood. Rockies are playing well, trying to take 2 straight now from San Francisco. 2-2 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, top of the order. Dexter Fowler to face Tim Lincecum. No swing or no bunt attempt as they check it out at third with Ted Barrett. Tony Randazzo behind home plate asked for help. A walk in the first, a single in the second for Dexter. 1-1. One of the interesting things about Lincecum, whenever you have a great pitcher, there's all kinds of conversation anytime the guy struggles at all. And as George Frazier put in an eloquent manner early in the ball game, there's a lot of guys who'd love to struggle to the tune of 8-3 with a 3.13 ERA.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking with, you don't have a couple of guys in this league, and I'm talking about Roy Halladay and Ubaldo Jimenez, then you're probably talking about him being the Cy Young guy. Wainwright's won 11 ball games. I mean, you got 3 or 4, but with 8 wins, if he, let's say he wins 10 games before the break, you're thinking, hey, he's on his way again.
Sure. And he still may be in the mix.
Sure, well, I mean, that's part of it. Here's an interesting stat, I thought. Doug Marino gave it to me earlier. That's $1. In the first half, he's 33-9 with a 297 earned run average. In the second half, he's 15-11 with 287 earned run average. Now, what I found interesting, you're thinking, well, why is he only 4 games over 500?
Well, time to run. Hang on. This could be triple territory. Fowler flying around the bases. It'll be an easy triple for Dexter. Back-to-back nights with a 3-bagger. Go ahead, run at third. Nobody out.
Anytime he pulls the ball down either line or into the gap, you can almost anticipate him getting a triple out of it. And again, he's gotten so much better at cutting the bags. The hands down low, fastball down and in at 86, 87 miles an hour. And on the Hyundai cam, he just turns on it. Look where his head is. See, that was such a beautiful thing, a job of hitting, because his head stayed right on that pitch all the way through into that corner, and then it's just off to the races. Aubrey Huff needed a cannon to get to third base to have a play on this.
1-0 on Herrera. Infield's back. They're conceding the run. Well, Trudy Fowler, Mom said have fun. Dexter is having fun, Mom. And this will get the job done. Sanchez didn't get a base hit. RBI, Jonathan Herrera, 3-2 Rockies. Second hit of the night for the Venezuelan Flash. Getting it done, George.
Every night, and perfect second hole hitter. I mean, back control's what you're looking for out of the second slot, and he does that. Runner on third, they're conceding, he pulls the baseball, and then Freddie Sanchez made a nice play on it, just couldn't complete the play because of the speed of Herrera. Watch on the Hyundai cam, you're going to catch it here. I mean, he does just beat it. Nice stretch by Posey.
Rockies have out-hit the Giants 8-4. Here's Carlos Gonzalez. That's in there for a strike. That triple by Dexter, the 26th triple for the club this year. That leads the National League. Table setters tonight, 4 for 5 and a walk. Fowler and Herrera. Two-strike count on Gonzalez. The Mets have a big park, and they have Jose Reyes, so it's no surprise they're second in the league along with the Nationals.
And they're on top of the Nationals, 5-1 in the 8th.
Herrera an RBI single to give the Rockies a 3-2 advantage here in the bottom of the 5th. Career numbers for Gonzalez against Lincecum. talking to Jason Giambi about a couple of players tonight, one being Robinson Cano. There's Giambi. And he said to Todd Helton back in spring training, he said, you can ask him this. Because Todd was asking Giambi about some of his ex-teammates in New York, and he said Cano is a guy one day that could be an American League MVP. He's that talented offensively. Well, this year he may be the American League MVP. So I turned the conversation to Gonzalez. I said, you think he has that kind of ability? And he said, as he goes down swinging here, he said, without question, he said he's got crazy talent. He said he just has to be a little more patient at the plate, which will come. One out, and that'll bring up Giambi. Our AT&T trivia question: the Giants franchise moved to San Francisco after 75 years in New York. And what were they originally called? The New York Gothams for 3 years. That, you know what? And I like that. Giambi, yeah, I know he's paid to hit it over the wall, George, but if he gets the ball down on the left side, it's first and second for Seth Smith.
Well, you got to push it hard enough because you got a very good athlete on the mound. Talking about Lincecum, that will cover that third base side, and it'll work to your advantage.
Maybe he's doing it just to shift the infield a little bit. That's in the dirt, 2-0. Giambi robbed of a hit his last time up on a good play by Freddie Sanchez.
Well, I think you go back and look at history, and they have this. How many bunt base hits does he have? You know, will he bunt it? Barry Bonds used to do it quite frequently with the left side wide open as it is.
Three and 0 on Jason.
By the way, 120 strikeouts now for Lincecum. That ties Gallardo for the major league lead.
Here's the good news about the strikeout total. He has only 3 tonight. And the Rockies go through periods, George, where they'll strike out a fair amount. They did on the last road trip.
They did strike out an awful lot in key situations, too. And it's, you know, to me, an out's an out. Whether it's strikeout, pop-up, ground ball, whatever it is, an out's an out.
There goes Herrera, and it's fouled off.
But that old saying goes, too, if you put the ball in place, something might happen. Whether it's a fly ball, ground ball, you never know.
Well, there's very definitely such thing as a productive out in baseball. Outfield very deep naturally for Giambi. He has 3 home runs this year. Herrera going, balls in the dirt. 2 men on for Seth Smith, who owns a pair of home runs against Lincecum in his career.
Look at those numbers. Career walks among active guys still playing the game. Jim Thome.
Yeah, George, I'm
home run hitter. Well, hold on a second.
Yeah,
home run hitter. Chipper Jones, home run hitter. Manny Ramirez, home run hitter. Bobby Abreu was a home run hitter. And, of course, Giambi is a home run hitter. Look how many walks that most guys that hit home runs strike out a lot. They don't walk.
And we just saw Bobby Abreu when we were in Anaheim. Hard on the ground. There's one, and the return throw is not in time. Smith beat it. Well, that'll bring up Olivo, 2 outs, and runners at first and third. Herrera at third, Smith at first.
2 hits so far for Olivo, too. Right guy at the plate. Goes back to catch the baseball, but didn't know where he was on the baseball field. Stepped down and well in front of the first base bat.
Olivo, a double and a single. Blocked by Whiteside. And George, as you know, I was in Cooperstown this week and went to the Hall of Fame naturally. Try to get there on a fairly frequent basis. Love that place. And Bobby Abreu, We didn't get a chance to talk about this much in Anaheim, but that guy's had a Hall of Fame career. This ball in the air to left field, Burrow moving over, and he makes the catch. You'd be surprised at how many lists he is on among active players. He's had a great run. 3-2 Colorado. Defense. Look at that double play turned last inning. Chassin to Barnes to Giambi. Fancy 1-6-3. Cleared the deck of base runners. Our Home Depot doing more on defense. Andres Torres will get his third look here in the 6th inning at Yoli Chassin, who has a 3-2 lead against Tim Lincecum and the Giants. Torres a double and a fly ball to left. Curveball's in there for a strike.
Since the first inning, they have yet to get another runner in scoring position. Obviously, Torres hit the leadoff double and a home run by Aubrey Huff. But outside of that, in the last 3 innings, they've had some singles. Nobody getting into scoring position. By the way, you know there's only been 4 Rockies pitchers winning double digits as rookies. Jennings 16-8, Francis 14-12, Reynoso 12-11, and Denny Stark 11-4. Chassin with his 4 wins could very easily do that the way he's pitching.
And a ground ball to second. Herrera throws out Torres. That'll bring up Freddie Sanchez. This date in history is brought to you by Dex One Marketing Solutions. Business results. July 2nd, 1963, at 12:31 in the morning in San Francisco. Willie Mays homers off of Warren Spahn in the bottom of the 16th to give Juan Marichal a 1-0 victory in the National League's longest game, ended by a home run. And that's a strike on Freddie. And Spahn and Marichal twirled all 16 innings.
Think about that. And you know what? I bet neither one of them. I wish we could find out if a number of pitches in the game thrown to those guys. Doug said he's going to try to look it up for us. That's $1. And the number of pitches that Spahn threw and then that Marichal threw. 16-inning game.
Here's the 0-2 on Sanchez. 1-2. Freddie just 6 for his last 40 at the plate. Won a National League batting title a couple of years ago. They repair any damage to your windshield by calling Safelight Elite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or catch them online at safelight.com. Padres go later on tonight against the Astros at Petco. Arizona hosting the Dodgers later on. And lifted to left field, easy play for Cargo, 2 outs. And news today in the National League West, really throughout baseball. A.J. Hinch and Josh Burns both ousted today by Ken Kendrick, the owner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. So the acting general manager is another former Rocky employee, because Josh Burns used to work at the front office for Dan O'Dowd, as did Jerry Dipoto, and now Jerry Dipoto is the interim general manager.
Well, director of baseball operations, I think he's probably the likely choice to fill that void by Josh leaving and by A.J. Hinch. I never understood the A.J. Hinch hiring anyway. He'd never managed anywhere, and again, kind of that old buddy system that works throughout baseball at times. And I think that Kendrick just finally said, you know what, accountability, we got to mean something to these fans. And they're playing very poorly. And I think some players who...
This ball is deep and gone. Aubrey Huff's tied it up. The entire offense for the Giants has been Aubrey Huff tonight. 2-run home run in the first and a solo shot in the 6th to tie things up at 3, his 14th of the year.
Changeup at 85. That's about 3 miles an hour faster than he's been averaging with the changeup earlier in this ball game. So it's only about 3 miles an hour less than the average fastball in the big leagues at 88 miles an hour. So in the location of the pitch, not that poorly, a little bit up in the strike zone. You see it start to run away from him, but yet get to the sweet part of his swing. He's able to put solid wood on it. It's been a great find and pickup for Bruce Bochy and Brian Sabian. Of course, there's rumors flying everywhere now that Burns is gone. Is it going to be Kevin Towers to come in and right the ship if they don't give the job full-time to Jerry Dipoto? Mr. White, the scouting director with the Los Angeles Dodgers, name has popped up. There's a possibility of filling the void if they decide to do that. Kirk Gibson is the acting manager of the ball club. Yes, sir, Mr. Gibson. Be happy to do that for you, sir.
Exactly. 3-0 and 4 pitches out of the zone after the home run. So Chacin rattled a little bit. Burrow goes to first. Pablo Sandoval is coming up, but Bob Apodaca, I can see him moving already through the dugout. He's going to come and chat with the 22-year-old.
Well, more than anything, just getting focused again. By the way, Doug gave me an answer here, Drew, and I find it interesting. That 16-inning game only lasted 4 hours and 10 minutes. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, really good.
56 batters is how many Spahn faced out of the 48. You know, he faced 48 to get to 16 outs. 16 innings of outs. Marichal, 57.
Nate Shearholtz is going to pinch run for Pat Burrow.
Now, it's not surprising because Bruce Bochy, typically they got Pat Burrow to be a pinch hitter. Yet because of his success and hot streak, they started playing him in the lineup. Well, with the game tied and you're in the 6th inning, they're going to add some defense in left field with Shearholtz. Probably move Huff over there and then Shearholtz to right. He has a much stronger arm.
Sandoval has been scuffling, but he's still a dangerous guy. The Diamondbacks, Georgia's 3 years ago, won 90 ball games. 2008, they were 82-80. Last year, just 70 wins, and this year, 31-48.
Well, Josh Burns was a toast to the town. And as they started to lose in 2008, things soured between he and Melvin, the manager.
That's 5 straight pitches out of the strike zone. Aubrey Huff has tied it up at 3 here in the 6th inning. He's acquired in the offseason to give a little more pop to the Giant lineup. It didn't have a whole lot. Now it's 2-0. Two outs. Shearholtz at first. Wow. Now if you're Jim Tracy, you may have to get action quick, even though there's 2 outs. Chacin gave up the 2-run home run in the first to Huff, and then cruised. I mean, he pitched as well as you can pitch in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Got the first 2 outs in the 6th, and then a home run by Huff, and now he can't throw it over the plate.
Different arm slot. The home run may have shook him up a little bit. He's ahead in the count. Start to maybe raise the elbow too high or too low, working under balls, getting them up, not keeping the command and the extension to home plate.
And another walk. And now you have the go-ahead run at second with Juan Uribe coming up. Let's take a look at today's Quest high-speed pitch. Lincecum's hit 95 on a number of occasions. Chacin's hit 93. That's brought to you by Quest, the high-speed internet provider of the Colorado Rockies. So Uribe with 2 aboard. Uribe 0 for 2. Fly ball right, ground ball second. First 2 walks of the ball game, in fact, for Yoeli Chacin. Uribe is 0 for his last 15 with runners in scoring position. Maybe he can make it 0 for 16. Corpus up and throwing.
Yeah, man, he was pitched very well out of the bullpen when it came time to close ball games, but lately has struggled in the bullpen. Looking to regain that form that he had. Did a job coming out of the bullpen, working the 9th inning.
Center field, pretty well hit. Fowler going back. Dexter will get there. Huff ties it. And then a couple of walks, but Chacin able to get Uribe with some help from Dexter. 3-3 mid-6. cross brewed freeze can. So it's now Huff in left field and Shearholtz in right. Burrell out of the game. And the first pitch to Ian Stewart misses. Pulled down the line. That's a fair ball. It'll be a leadoff double for Ian Stewart.
He hit the ball hard right at Pablo Sandoval in his last at bat. This time, instead of going to the left side of the infield, he just jerked it down the line beyond Buster Posey. Down into that corner, and it allowed Stewart to have this opportunity. It's going to come right into your front living room with this line drive. It did stay fair, as Brian Gorman was able to hop out of the way. Sherrill's now in right field, Huff in left field. So you got a stronger arm in right field now with Sherrill.
Ball one on Clint Barmas. 2-run home run in the second to extend his hitting streak to 10 games. He popped to Buster Posey in foul territory in the 4th inning. 3-3 game. Rockies with 9 hits against Lincecum. This ball is hit to right. Shearholtz misjudged it. Falls down after the catch. That allows Stewart to move up. I don't know, George, if he does not misjudge that, if he was deep enough for Stewart to go second and third.
I don't think it would have. Not with his arm and the abilities he has. It's just you're in light air, and he played out there last night. He ought to figure it out. Ball's hit pretty good by Barmas. He comes in on it and just makes a catch that was barely able to do it. I mean, it's out in the end of the webbing of this glove. And after he did make the catch, he came down, tried to plant. Feet go out from under him. He's wearing cleats, too. A lot of guys in the outfield wear rubber spikes, and it caused him to slip an awful lot.
Brad Hopp will pinch hit for Yoli Chacin. Brad nursing those sore ribs.
3 times he's pinch hit this year. He's 0 for 3 so far. Chacin, nice job tonight. He gave up a couple of long balls to the same guy. Other than that, he did was that term you know I love so much. Quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs.
He did do that. Brad a chance to give the Rockies the lead. Infield is in. Sanchez kind of halfway on the pull side. Outside 2-0. Stewart a leadoff double. In fact, 5 of the 6 innings, the Rockies have the leadoff man on in this game against Lincecum. Three and up.
Well, Lincecum so far in this ball game, pitch count starting to climb a little bit as he falls behind hitters. 84 though, very comfortably here in the 6th inning. Just 31 balls.
3-1. Fowler's on deck.
Top 7 for 27, a 259 average in his career. No long balls. Matt Belisle warming up to come on to pitch the 7th.
And now there's runners at first and third, and you have a very difficult man to double up in Dexter Fowler coming to the plate. Dexter's 2 for 2, single and a triple and a walk.
Let's see what Lincecum has left in his tank. 6 ground ball outs and trying to get double play balls. 7 flyouts. Runzler, the left-hander, hard-throwing left-hander, getting loose down in their bullpen. Dexter's only hit into 2 double plays all year and 150 at-bats coming into the game.
They don't have a soft tossing lefty down there.
They don't have any soft tossers, period, down there.
You got Runzler and Jeremy Affeldt on the left side. 2 guys who throw it 95 and above. Stewart at third. Brad Hopp at first, 1 out. 3 runs, 9 hits for the Rockies, 3 runs, 5 hits, and an error for the Giants. 2-0. 6 of the last 7 out of the strike zone. Lincecum, and that'll bring out your former teammate Dave Righetti.
Pretty good job as a pitching coach. Done a very nice job. But folks, let me tell you about the team poster dates coming up. It's all fans at the July, and I said all the fans, July 10th ball game. They're going to receive a 2010 Rockies team poster. So that's Saturday, July 10th. All the fans that show up at the ballpark obviously are going to get one of these posters. So go to ColoradoRockies.com or pick up the phone, call the Rockies, get tickets for that ball game on July 10th.
Two-0 on Fowler. 3-0. Take a look at their bullpen.
Well, these are the guys you're going to see. And again, Jeremy Affeld's going to come into the ball game along with Runsler a little bit anywhere from the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. They're going to set things up for Casilla, the right-hander, and for Brian Wilson.
And that is high, and the bases are now loaded for the switch hitter Herrera.
I think Lincecum's going to get the opportunity to face Johnny Herrera. And if he's not able to get him out, then you're going to see Runsler come face the left-hander, hitting Gonzalez. Be power on power.
4 walks allowed.
This is throughout his career. This is something Lincecum has been able to do, and you think he's been in the big leagues for a while. With the bases loaded in his career, the opposition has hit 080, 2 for 25.
Many opportunities with the bases loaded against him. Just 25 in his first 3.5 years in the big leagues. And Herrera will make you throw strikes. Two and 0. Gonzalez on deck.
Well, and funny as it is, Gonzalez is one of the guys he's handled. He struck him out 2 out of 3 times he's faced him tonight. Yet I don't think Bruce Bochy will give him an opportunity.
Do you know what everybody else in the lineup has reached?
Well, yes, they have.
Two and 2.
Pretty nasty on the forward strike zone. You'll see that hard 4-seam fastball, 92. 94th pitch of the game for Lincecum.
Two and 2 on Herrera. And that's fouled off. At the left center field, long run for Torres. Instead, it'll be Huff getting over there and easily scoring on that fly ball is Ian Stewart. 4-3 Colorado. Jonathan Herrera with his second ribby of the night on a 2-2 pitch, battling away against Tim Lincecum.
I see what Bochy does here if he let him try to finish the inning. We face Gonzalez, as I mentioned, 0 for 2 with a couple of punch outs. Johnny Herrera doesn't strike out a lot. I wasn't surprised by his ability to make solid contact.
Is it Cargo's turn? George mentions 0 for 3 tonight against Lincecum. 2 punch outs and a broken bat fly ball to right field. Runners at first and second. Hops at second, Fowler at first. Curveball.
Well, he really took a lot of velocity off, but yet finished out front, 75 miles an hour.
One of the things that's been mentioned about Tim Lincecum this year, as you look at the curveballs, that his velocity is down, and that's accurate. 2 years ago, his fastball averaged more than 94 miles an hour. This year, it's down around 91. Not shabby, but it's a considerable drop.
Absolutely it is. It's got to be a consistent 88, 91, 92 miles an hour. And before, you were looking at 92, 95, 96 miles an hour.
And he throws it less frequently. He's throwing it 66% of the time 2 years ago. This year, it's around 53%. He's throwing the changeup a lot. And he's behind 3-1 on Gonzalez. And if he loses him, you know, Giambi's 0 for 2 in a walk. You almost have to go get runs there, don't you?
Mike and I were looking, our producer was talking and looking up a previous at bat with Gonzalez, but with 3 balls and 1 strike on him, he's to talk about the walking. But yet then you throw a 3-1 changeup. Go figure. I think Bochy, he knows in this ballpark too. He's got a pretty depth bullpen right now, and he doesn't need to worry about what he needs to get through 3 innings. I think he wants to try to let his former Cy Young Award winner. And managers say this: is the guy on the mound better when I got warming up? Does he have a better chance of getting this guy out? And so far, Lincecum has proved in the game tonight 2 or 3 times he's been able to strike him out.
Runners will be moving 3-2 with 2 outs. And Fowler has gone for the 3rd time tonight. So Lincecum gets Gonzalez. I said Fowler gets Cargo for the 3rd time tonight. The Rockies do get the go-ahead run. Stewart scores on the fly ball by Herrera. 4-3 Rockies.
And Houston Street in the 9th if it stays this way with this score, and that's exactly what Jim Tracy wanted. For the last 5 games, he's really been able to use his bullpen the way that he wants. He says he feels like he has the puzzle pieces to work it the way that he wants in the formula that he wants to do. He said, I believe all we need to do, we don't have to be leading the division at the break. We have to be in a position to take charge after the break is over. He said, I believe there's a direct correlation between a successful bullpen formula and winning and putting yourself into position, and I think the timing is perfect, guys.
All right, Alana, thank you very much. Matt Belisle has been splendid all year. And the first pitch is in there, strike 1 on Buster Posey. It's Posey, Whiteside, And Lincecum scheduled. Easy play for Barmes. 1 out.
Jeremy felt the left-handers getting loose down in the bullpen for the Giants. The Rockies will send up Giambi and Smith, both left-handed, before you get to Olivo. Left-handers hitting .267 against Affeldt this year. Right-handers .301.
Aaron Rowan has come out in the on-deck circle, so that'll be all for Lincecum. Yoeli Chacín, the pitcher of record on the plus side. He goes 6 innings, allows 3 runs on 5 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. The only 2 hits that hurt him left the building. Aubrey Huff, 2-run home run in the first and a solo shot in the 6th inning. Pretty fine outing by Chacín.
Very good outing. A chance to pick up his 5th win if the bullpen can hold things together. First pitch outs to start innings, particularly in 1-run ball games, are a big stat for any manager that looks at his ball club. And Matt Belisle, 65% and above is typically a pretty good number. Belisle 70% of the time. Randy Flores, the best number of anybody out of the bullpen, 85% of the time.
Keep the Giants to 3 runs, George. You have a great chance at winning. They're 6-30 this year. 6-30 when they score 3 runs or less.
Well, we mentioned at the start of this ball game what they have done of late has been basically horrendous. Hit at 195 with runners in scoring position last 7 ball games, 220 on the year.
Two. And Whiteside covers that at 95. Wow. Vaughn must feel good. Matt's 92, 93. He's in the mid-90s so far tonight. You see the scores going by underneath. Rockies up 4-3 in the 7th. See you later. Whiteside dismissed. 2 outs, and that'll bring up the pinch hitter Rowan.
It's called paint. Get them in a slider mode and then throw that heater on the outside corner. And do it at that kind of velocity, they're going to have a tough time. 94 miles an hour.
Well, the Giants pinch hitters have been very good this year. 308 average. That's tops of the National League. Rowan takes inside, ball 1. In on his hands, 1-1. Rowan dangerous and hit the ball out of the ballpark. And a ground ball to short. Circling. Barmes on the move to Giambi. Well done again for Matt Belisle. 2 ground outs and a punch out. Stretch time at Coors Field. Home team leading 4-3. And by King Soopers, our people make the difference. Rockies 4, Giants 3. After 6 innings, Tim Lincecum leaving with a hook. Yoli Chacin is on the plus side. The former Rocky Jeremy Affeldt, one of the better left-handed setup men in baseball, will take over. Well, the opposition, George, hitting a lofty 291 this year.
Well, left-handers are hitting 267. Right-handers over 300. 29th game for him to appear in. A 2-3 record overall. Still has at times he will walk people. 18 and 27 and a third with 23 strikeouts. He's given up 3 home runs.
Let's take a look at the Amica hit zone on Jason Giambi, who will lead it off. Amica, it's not how you're covered, it's how you're treated.
You see those sliders down and away. That's something that gives a little bit of fits, and then guys like to ride the fastball up into the zone to try to get those lazy fly balls.
Last year, the opposition, George, hit 193 against Affeldt, so the average this year almost 100 points higher. And this is on the ground to short. The extreme shift wasn't on left. So Uribe able to throw out Giambi. That would have been a play for the third baseman, Sandoval, in the original alignment. Seth Smith with 1 out. Infield single. Line drive to short. Reached on a fielder's choice. He's 1 for 3. Lincecum, 6 innings, 4 runs. All of them earned. 9 hits, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts.
First 25,000 at the July 9th game are going to receive Rockies reward coupons. Pick up the phone to get tickets for that ball game. ColoradoRockies.com. If you go by the way of the computer. San Diego Padres are in town.
Rockies with the 24-14 record at Coors Field. That's the 4th best in the National League behind Atlanta, the Mets, and the Cardinals. See National League bullpen ERAs, the Padres first, the Giants 3rd. Washington's bullpen, they've been a long way from first in years past. There's a base hit, maybe 2. Here goes Smith. And he is out at second base. Good throw by Shearholtz.
Very strong and a very accurate arm, and Smitty just tried to push it, see if he could get into scoring position with 1 out. Line drive kind of hooking off bounce into closer to the line than anything else, and when he got to the baseball, Cyril fired a perfect strike, and the tag was applied. Not sure it's the correct call. We get a good shot of it here as he comes into second base. See if that front foot got in ahead of the tag. I think it did. Tag was made back on that back leg that was on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell Smith
he never says
believes
anything.
He was safe. There's a ball that goes off of, it looked like going off the glove for a moment, but Affeldt had it. And it turns into a 1-2-3 inning. We'll move to the 8th inning. The Rockies 4 and the Giants 3. Top of the order for San Francisco when we come back. Look back. First inning, Yoli Chassin with a man aboard. Serves up a home run to Aubrey Huff. 2-0 San Francisco. Rockies would get even in the second, however. Clint Barmes riding a 9-game hitting streak. Hits his third home run during this now 10-game hitting streak. That tied it up. 6th inning. A fly ball off the bat of Jonathan Herrera brings home Ian Stewart. The Rockies go ahead 4-3. That's where we stand. That look back brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. Jason Giambi's now out of the ballgame. Melvin Mora comes in at first. And it'll be the second inning of work for Matt Belisle. 12 pitches in a 1-2-3 7th, and that is a little bit high. Ball one on Andres Torres. A double in the first. Fly ball left field. Ground ball to second. Chassin and Lincecum, the pitchers of record.
Well, you always want to play well when you have a sellout crowd, whether maybe 50-60% are here to watch the Rockies. The others come up to see the fireworks. It is a sellout, and you give the hometown crowds and a sellout crowd a good show, they'll be back. 6th sellout this year, 48,127.
Good news from the desert. Second inning, Arizona 3-0 lead on the Dodgers. Here's the 1-2. And a line drive. Not hit exceptionally hard. Gloved by Stewart. 1 out. And that'll bring up Freddie Sanchez 0 for 3. Betancourt and Joe Beimel. And Barmes will get there. And a throw in the air all the way to Mora. 2 outs. Showing great range to his left.
He absolutely was. And Freddie, one of those guys, give Belisle a little bit of a hard problem. I mean, over 400 of it against him in his career, but retiring here. Jim Tracy, nice job, Matt Belisle. You gave me an inning and 2/3, did what I wanted to have done. And their left-handed bench, Ishikawa was the one guy with one swing that could do something. Schuerholz there as you work down through this deal. They're not going to give a chance to one of these left-handers come up and beat them.
4-3 Rockies. When you come to the ballpark. Well, for 2/3 of the folks, getting baseball as a souvenir is the greater of the two experiences. Two outs, nobody on. Aubrey Huff will face Joe Beimel. Huff hangs in pretty good against lefties, 263 this year with 3 home runs. He's hit a pair of home runs tonight, both coming against Yoli Chassin. The only guy really to get to Chassin. 2-run home run in the first, and at the time a tying home run in the 6th.
Of late, left-handers haven't accomplished a whole lot. 3 for 21 on the season, 9 for 47 against Beimel.
And the curveball is popped up. Herrera and Barmes. It'll be Barmes on the right side of the diamond. So Belisle and Beimel, the killer bees in the 8th inning. Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. 4-3 Colorado. They've doubled up the hit total of the Giants. 12 hits, in fact, for the Rockies last night. They have 10 this evening. Barmes has a 10-game hitting streak, a 2-run home run earlier in the ball game, and Chassin out-dueling Tim Lincecum tonight. Here's Ian Stewart against Jeremy Affeldt. Stewart doubled in the 6th inning. Ended up scoring on a Jonathan Herrera fly ball to left field. That's the difference in this ball game right now. Herrera has 2 RBIs, Barmes the other 2. Barmes on deck. Pitcher spot. It's Chris Ray, who was just picked up from the Texas Rangers in that deal for Benji Molina. Houston Street getting loose in the Rockies bullpen. Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs for the Rockies Taco Special from Taco Bell, text the keyword taco to 95323. Street the save last night. Two and two.
to see what this ball might have got. Ooh, man, right on the toe.
The back toe, which you don't see generally.
Fastball, 94 miles an hour, and it's waited so long to let it travel back. One of those times you wish you got the head out a little quicker.
It's funny, I was watching Stewart there, George, and you know, players get routines, they bang their spikes off with the bat, and he started to do it with the left foot, and he said, whoa, 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 what am I doing here?
That's not the right move here. I think I'll back off and wait a while. It'll be in a bucket of ice in about 15, 20 minutes. As a pitcher, this drives you crazy when you just make pitch after pitch and they keep fouling them off, but it's a good at bat by a batter, obviously. But as a pitcher, you're like, okay. And the thing I've noticed with Affeldt so far is you have to throw his curveball, a solid curveball for a strike. And that's has been a swing and miss pitch for him throughout his career.
Good eye, 3-2. Barmes.
Where's Summer? She needs to get back up here. That's beautiful. Wife was on earlier talking about the Wives grab bag coming up the 6th and 7th of July. And the Cardinals are in town in section 130.
That's a good AB. Left on left. Stewart wins the battle. He goes to first. The Rockies hoping to extend their lead. Last night, George, they were able to add on in late innings, something that they have not done with great regularity this year.
Well, runs after the 7th, you're right, has been one of the shortcomings of this ball club, but not last night.
Spilborgh's in the on-deck circle. See if Barmes lays down a bunt. He does not. He chops it into left field. That's another multi-hit game for Clint Barmes. Every night he's throwing up a couple of hits. They take advantage. Sandoval steps in on the grass, and he just hit a chopper right over his head.
It felt like where they were in the lineup that the Rockies were going to give Clint, because he swung a hot bat of late. We mentioned nearly .430 over the last 9 ball games. Give him a chance to swing it against the left-hander.
And now you change your strategy. Instead of Spilborghs, you bring up Aaron Cook off the bench to naturally lay down a sacrifice bunt.
They're one of the better bunters on the team.
And Aaron Cook's a guy that, unlike some starting pitchers, when they're not working, so they don't have the spikes on, because, you know, walking around in spikes, not the most comfortable thing. A lot of them will wear sneakers. Aaron Cook always puts his spikes on because he never knows when he's going to be asked to pinch run. As he says that I'm late in the game with Giambi's caddy. If he gets on, I know I'm running. Or do this, pinch hit to bunt. Hey, repair that chip in your windshield. Call Safelite Elite Auto Glass 303-287-5000, online at safelite.com. He wants to get it towards Sandoval at third. A little too much in terms of directing the baseball. A little too fine.
65 sacrifice bunts for Aaron Cook in his career. That's the all-time leader for the Rockies.
Where you put a slug bunt on here, George, you would cross everybody up if it's executed.
Well, that's the key, if it is executed.
Yeah, with the fireworks going on, all of a sudden in the background, that's not naturally, that has nothing to do with the big fireworks to come afterward, set off by the Rockies. That's somewhere else. The home plate umpire Tony Randazzo called time. Cook will look down at Richie Dower, and you got to believe the bunt will be on one more time. If it does go back toward the pitcher, it's easier for a left-handed pitcher like Affeldt to get the force at third than a right-handed pitcher. And Cook didn't get it done. So Aaron is gone, and that'll bring up Dexter Fowler.
His last pitch, not an easy pitch to bum. When you have 2 strikes, though, you're not going to let it get out of your hands and into an umpire's hands. A curveball, one of the better curveballs thrown by Affeldt so far.
Another big night for Fowler. He's been on all 4 times. Singled in the second, tripled and scored in the 5th.
Ron Wotus, their dugout coach, was yelling at Freddie Sanchez to keep an eye on Ian Stewart. 5 stolen bases. Last night with a right-handed bat up. The Rockies, Dexter Fowler, a double steal pulled off, resulted in a run in the game. Ron Wotus was yelling at Sanchez, you make sure you're there and let Juan Uribe get a little bit deeper into the hole at shortstop.
And Stewart got an enormous jump, and that's probably one Dexter needs to take there, George, don't you believe?
Well, if it's not a pitch you think you're going to be able to drive somewhere, then don't get too antsy with it. I think you obviously see the runner out at second base. Stewart just a gigantic jump because of the high leg kick of Affeldt. It was not a slide step at all. Pretty good chance both guys are going to be safe.
Yeah, it's a tough thing for a hitter to do, but he is in the field of vision. And Stewart and the trail runner Barmes both had the bag stolen easily. And Dexter tried to push a bunt. Sanchez was kind of sliding over, trying to keep Stewart close now. 1-2. Rockies trying to build some insurance. This is Fowler's natural side of the plate. And we should tell you, down in Colorado Springs, he was terrific from the left side where he'd been struggling in the big leagues. He was terrific from the right side.
He was. He swung the bat very well down there. Obviously, you see a lot more right-handed bats, or pitchers, I should say. So at the big league level, you're going to get a lot more left-handed swings than you are right-handed. And a lot of those swings you do get from the right side of this situation against very good situational pitchers.
1 out, 2-2 count on Fowler. Stewart at second. He walked. Barmes singled. He is at first. Don't see an empty seat in the house. Rockies 10 games over 500 at Coors Field. Dodgers have closed within a run of Arizona in the second. It's 3-2 there. Drives it to the gap in left center field. Here comes Stewart. Barmes will get a stop sign. Fowler with a double. Second straight ball game with 3 hits for Dexter Fowler. 5-3 Rockies.
Planning and swinging the bat a lot like he did a year ago. Took authority on Jeremy Affeldt, who had a bad pitch. Right-handers have been hitting over 300 for the year. And Bruce Bochy's going to go to his bullpen. Here it is. Fastball right out over the plate. Not a lot of trickery here. Dexter swinging the ball into the gap in left center. Doubles, a couple of doubles 2 nights in a row, and then all of a sudden you got the extra base hit and the RBI. Now all of a sudden the runners
in the 8th inning. Tonight's call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. This will be the Giants' debut of Chris Ray, the former Baltimore Oriole and most recently Texas Ranger. Came over in the trade for Benji Molina yesterday.
Well, I've been in 3 ball games. I'm in a save with a right-hander.
Second and third, infield in. Johnny Herrera, 2 RBIs tonight. The squeeze is on. Well done, Herrera. That was not an easy pitch to go and get. Suicide squeeze, and Herrera got it down. Barmes scores 6-3 Colorado.
Yeah, 3rd RBI for Johnny, too. That's the other side of it to expand the lead to 3. I saw him talking to Jim Tracy as they went to break here on the television. He was spending a lot of time talking to him. When the squeeze is on, it's not safety. He's coming from 3rd base. You got to make contact somehow on that baseball, and he did it.
It is just remarkable what a job he has done, and allowing Barmes to go to short, who's been brilliant defensively, and his offense has been outstanding. And so now the Rockies, so far, George, weathering the storm without their leader, their cleanup man, the all-star candidate, Troy Tulowitzki. And not just because of the play of Barmes at short, in large part because of what Herrera's done.
He has, absolutely it has been. Of what he has accomplished at second base, not only with his glove, but with his bat, and where he's been in the lineup.
Squeeze play has always been a favorite of Jim Tracy. 2-0 on Gonzalez. 2-1. You know, Lincecum struck out only 4. The guy that strikes out as many as anybody in the game. And 3 of his strikeouts were of Carlos Gonzalez. The other one was Ian Stewart looking in the second. The Rockies got it in play against Lincecum, got 9 hits off. And this ball is driven to left center field in deep, but not deep enough. Huff will go and get it. We'll go to the 9th inning. Rockies looking for 3 more outs. They're ahead 6-3. Hyundai was just named the most efficient car maker in America. Visit your Colorado Hyundai dealers today. And by the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Call 303-571-1114 and ask about our hometown sports package. Rockies pick up a couple of insurance runs for Houston Street here in the ninth. Johnny Herrera, a 3 RBI night.
Pretty nice night, huh, for the little second baseman going out and doing his job. Houston straight on to make his 6th appearance so far for the Rockies. 5 strikeouts, yet to walk a batter in 5 1/3 inning.
And this, every outing, George, this one naturally included, helps him get a little bit sharper. Last night, ball game ended on a fly ball to left field where he missed location by about a foot, and the ball was caught. But as Miguel Olivo came out to shake hands, strike one, Houston Street patted his chest as if to say, "Hey, my bad." And Houston Street last year, when he saved 35 ball games in 37 attempts, I mean, he hit the glove 95% of the time. That's nasty right there. 0-2.
Well, the best thing he did, 23 of 35 saves, had 1, 2, 3 nights. They go by pretty quick that way. Whenever you don't shorten things up, the leadoff man retired. Obviously, he struggled a little bit with that here in the early going through 5 ball games, but last year he was electric at it.
And this is lifted to right center field. Smith moves over and makes the catch. Shearholtz is retired. 1 gone in the ninth. That'll bring up Pablo Sandoval. Johnny Herrera, 3 RBIs, a career high night. Sandoval tonight, 0 for 2 and a walk. Hitting location right on the block at 91. Oh, 2.
5 pitches all in the zone.
Another 12-hit night, George, for the Rockies. 13 runs, 24 hits in the first 2 ball games of this series. And Johnny Herrera will get there, 2 gone. That'll bring up Juan Uribe. 0 for 3 tonight. How about Yoli Chacin? 3 of his last 5 outings, George, he's faced an all-star. Tonight, facing 2-time Cy Young winner Lincecum. He faced Irvin Santana, an all-star, a year ago for the Angels in his last outing. Roy Oswalt recently also on June the 10th.
Right, you faced the Angels, you faced Boston, and you put up and didn't blink. The best thing out of the poise they always talked about, one of his biggest assets, he showed it.
7 for 7 throwing strikes. Here's the 0-1. That's 0-2. And the 0-2. Slider away. Uribe didn't bite. Tomorrow, Ubaldo Jimenez and Barry Zito. Jimenez will go for win number 15. And the 1-2. He's got it. There's the ball game. And the Rockies have won 2 straight, 4 of 5. Yoli Chacin the win. Tim Lincecum the loss. He falls to 8-4. Johnny Herrera, career best 3 RBIs. And the Rockies have got it rolling for the first time this year. They're 6 games north of 500. 43-37. And they can